Hello everyone, myself Akshatha S, lecturer in PG Commerce, SVS College, Bantwal. In this video, I am going to talk about forwards and futures. What are forwards and futures? Forwards and futures are the financial instruments which come under the category of derivatives. Financial instruments just like shares and bonds, these forwards and futures are also financial instruments, but it comes under the category of derivatives. Now, what is a derivative? Without knowing anything about derivatives, we can't understand forwards and futures. So let's see what are derivatives. Derivatives are the financial contracts whose value or price is dependent on the behavior of the price of one or more basic underlying assets. It means derivative is a financial contract which derives its value from another asset which is called underlying asset. Now, what is an underlying asset? Let's try to understand this concept of underlying asset with the help of an example. Let's take bus fare. The fare charged for riding the bus, it is called bus fare. This bus fare, it increases with an increase in the diesel prices. Buses use diesel, so diesel price is important while fixing the bus fare. So we can say this bus fare is derived from the diesel price. So diesel price acts as a underlying asset for this bus fare. I hope you understood. Let's take another example. Derivatives includes different contracts, maybe gold future contract or index future contracts, commodity contracts. Here let's take gold future contract. Every time the prices of gold increases, the prices of gold future also increases. With a fall in the prices of gold, the prices of gold future also decreases. So, gold is an underlying asset for gold future contract. It means an asset which influences the value of derivative is called underlying asset. I hope the concept of underlying asset and derivatives are clear now. Now let's see the different types of derivatives. Forward contract, future contract, option contract and swap contract. These are the four different types of derivatives. In this video, I am going to talk about forwards and futures. So let's see what is a forward contract. When two parties enter into an agreement to buy or sell an underlying asset at a specified date and at an agreed price in the future, it is termed as forward contract. A contract which involves two parties, an underlying asset, a future date and a specified price is called a forward contract. Let's try to understand this with the help of an example. Mr. X has a function in his house on 20th December. For this function, he needs 1 quintal of rice. Due to the fear of price fluctuation, he decides to enter into a contract with a farmer. The farmer agrees to sell 1 quintal of rice to Mr. X on 20th December for Rs 5,000. This is a forward contract. As per the explanation, we need two parties, that is Mr. X and farmer. Here there is a specified future date, that is 20th December, an underlying asset 1 quintal of rice and the predetermined price, that is Rs 5,000. It fulfills all the requirements, so we can call this contract as a forward contract. Now if you see the question, if you see this example, it says due to the fear of price fluctuation, Mr. X decides to enter into contract with the farmer. Now what is Mr. X's fear? Here Mr. X is a buyer of the contract, so he is afraid of increase in the prices of rice. If the price of rice increases, he has to pay more. So he doesn't want to pay more price. That is why he is entering into contract with farmer. If the prices are rising, why would the farmer enter into a contract at a lower price? This question arises, right? So here, this price rise is just an opinion of Mr. X. It is just his assumption. He thinks that the prices may go up. On the other hand, the farmer thinks that the prices may fall down in the near future. He has just an opposite opinion. Therefore, he thinks it is better to enter into a contract so that he can lock the price. If in case the price falls below 5000, at least he can earn 5000 by executing this contract. It is just the opinion of Mr. It is just the opinion of farmer. So here we can see the people have different opinions. This different opinions that created a scope for forward contract. Here in case on 20th December, if the price of 1 quintal rice is 5500 rupees, Mr. X can save rupees 500 because he is supposed to pay only 5000 as per the contract. In case the market price is 4500, the farmer can sell it for 5000 rupees because he has entered into contract with Mr. X, so he can make a profit of rupees 500. So both the parties can gain by this contract based on the market conditions. The gain of one party becomes a loss for another party. So if we see further into this forward contract, we can understand that this is a face-to-face contract and there is no regulatory authority exists. At the same time, no initial investment is required at the time of entering into this forward contract. So this is all about forward contract. Now let's move on to future contract. Just like the forward contract, a future contract is an agreement to buy or sell an underlying instrument at a specified price on a future date. In the future contract, the buyer and seller are not required to meet each other to enter into an agreement. The agreement between them is done via exchange. Now, if you see the first sentence, it says a future contract is an agreement to buy or sell an underlying instrument at a specified price on a future date. There is no difference between forward and future, right? So we can say this future contract is an improvised version or a developed version of forward contract. Under forward contract, we saw two parties, that is Mr. X and farmer. Here, under future contract between farmer and Mr. X, the stock exchange appears. Here, while explaining forward contract, I said the differences in the opinions of people created the scope for forward contract. We can say here Mr. X was extremely lucky to find the farmer who had the exact opposite opinion and who was ready to sell the same amount of rice for exact amount of price which is intended by him to pay. But this is a very rare situation. In general, when we see the market, we find different Mr. X's who are willing to buy 1 quintal of rice for 5000 rupees, but different farmers who are ready to sell it for 6000, 7000 and so on. So it is very difficult to match these orders. So here under future contract, stock exchange brought standardization concept. Now what is standardization? Standardization means fixing the standards for everything. Here we have the quantity, the price and the maturity period. everything is fixed by the stock market itself under future contract. Here the stock market, it provides different ranges, maybe quantity 1 quintal, 2 quintal, 3 quintal, price 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. The maturity period 20th December, 20th January, 20th March. It is just a random example. So here the range is given by the stock market, and the customers or the investors are supposed to choose in the given range. Any adjustment cannot be made with the given range. If the customer wants to make adjustment, they have to make adjustment with their needs, not in the given quantity, price or maturity period. So it becomes easy for stock market to match the orders in this case. Here under future contract, a regulatory authority exists, and it is Security and Exchange Board of India. Again, at the time of entering into the contract, both the parties are supposed to invest a amount which is called margin. It acts as a guarantee for the execution of the contract. So by overcoming all the drawbacks of forward contract, this future contract is designed. Therefore, we can say futures is a developed version of forward contract. This is about future contract. Now let's see the difference between forwards and future contract. Forward contract is an agreement between two parties to buy or sell an asset at pre-agreed future point in the time at a specified price. Future contract is a standardized contract traded on a stock exchange to buy or sell a certain underlying instrument at certain date in the future at a specified price. It means forward contract is a face-to-face contract which takes place outside the stock market. We can call it as over-the-counter contract. Future contract is a standardized contract which takes place inside the stock market. Second one, forward contract is customized to customer needs. Usually no initial payment is required. Future contract is standardized contract. Initial margin payment is required. Now, forward contract is a customized to customers. It means the customer, based on their needs and wants, make adjustments in the quantity, price or maturity period. They can make the changes. Instead of 1 quintal, they can buy 2 quintal. But in case of this future contract, this adjustment cannot be made. It means if they want to buy, if they want the maturity period to be 30th December, they cannot make this adjustment because 30th December option may not be there in the standard option given by the stock exchange. So they have to adjust their needs according to the available standards given by the stock exchange. And again, under forward contract, no initial payment is required. Under future contract, they have to pay the margin. Forward contract has high counterparty risk. Future contract has low counterparty risk. Now, what is a counterparty? Counterparty means other party. Here in our example, Mr. X is a counterparty for farmer and farmer is a counterparty for Mr. X. Counterparty risk means the risk of any one party not fulfilling their obligation. Here, for example, the farmer not selling the rice to Mr. X due to his own reasons. It is also called default risk and it is very high in case of forward contract because there is no existence of any regulatory authority. But under future contract, this risk is very low because Security and Exchange Board of India exists. Next one, forward contract is usually used for hedging. Future contract is usually used for speculation. Now, hedging and speculation. This hedging and speculation both are similar activities, but their intentions are different. Here, hedging is used mainly for reducing the risk, reducing the loss. On the other hand, speculation is done for increasing their profit. While looking into forward contract, I said both Mr. X and farmer entered into the contract because they wanted to reduce their risk. Therefore, forward contract can be used mainly for reducing the risk, so it is hedging. On the other hand, future contract is usually used for speculation. The investors, based on the price movements, make speculations and enter into future contract so that they can increase their profit. So these are the differences between forward and future contracts. To conclude, derivative contracts like forwards and futures are the best hedging instruments. The traders can predict future price movements and make good profits out of them. So here these derivatives like futures and forwards, they are really good instruments. With the help of them, the investors either can reduce their risk or increase their profit. Thank you for listening.